We'll go ahead and get started. The first question is going to come from Anthony, then Mike Vorel. Go ahead, Anthony.
Hey, you had some big plays there at the end. What were you thinking on that last drive?
Just do your job. It's 2 minutes, so the only thing you can do is do your job and just trust that everyone's going to do their job at the end. So it wasn't just like get a stop. We try to get a stop every single play. So in 2 minutes, it's nothing different. There's no pressure. Just do your job and we'll get the job done. And hopefully we'll get a stop.
All right, we'll go to Mike Vorel, then Dan Raley. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, Eddie, I'm wondering, you came in with Zion, of course, in the same class, and just what kind of a personality does he bring to your team? And also, what kind of growth have you seen from him throughout the years and throughout the offseason?
Me and Zion were roommates our freshman year around fall camp, and he's just like always an energetic person, always working, always getting some extra time in, extra film in. So, to see him develop, he actually teaches me a lot of pass rush moves. So I learned a lot from him. So to see him get those plays didn't surprise me at all. I was just turned for him.
All right, we'll go to Dan Raley and then Mazvita. Go ahead, Dan.
No, I know it's always a work in progress for everybody to get better and to not get complacent. But how different are you in a year's time? Here you are a starter. Last year you were kind of looking for playing time. How much more confident? How much better of a player are you right now?
I think as a leader, I'm better in the sense that not only can I know my calls, now my responsibility changes to getting everybody else accountable. So better in the sense of I can either communicate more and I need to do my technique is a little bit more efficient. So it's the efficiency is more this year than last year. I would say that's how I improved.
All right, Mazvita, and then Chris Fetters, and then hands up for Edefuan. Go ahead, Maz.
Yeah, Edefuan, as a leader, what was going through your mind at halftime, because you guys were able to shut them down? And then two-part, how important is it for you guys to continue that improvement for Saturday's game?
Just at halftime, we were just identifying the problem. They were gashing us, and it was somebody's fault. So we had to just work on our adjustments, look at our schemes, make those key adjustments, and then after we make those adjustments, do those adjustments that we're asked to do, and then see if that works. And if it works, then we're good. If it doesn't, then we have to readjust as well. So that was the halftime adjustment.
How about going forward, Edefuan, into this game? Same question.
Going forward into this game, I was just sticking in our scheme, and just making sure we're all doing our job and being able to trust others in doing their jobs. Don't try to be Superman. Don't try to get out of your fits and everything. So that's kind of what I'm focusing on this week.
All right, we'll go to Chris Fetters and then Mike Vorel. Go ahead, Chris.
Edefuan, watching Zion get those strips kind of reminded me a little bit of your first time out on the against Oregon State when you had those fumbles, those forced fumbles. What is it about getting the ball out that you are so good at? What is it about your game that allows you to be so good at that?
We drill it every day. It's every time you can sense it. We watch Peanut Tillman a lot, so we're always trying to punch it out in practice. And it's just basically every time that you're trying to make a tackle, if you feel the ball in your hand, there's a possibility that you can rip it out. So you're grabbing the hand, trying to pull it out. If you get, actually get the ball out, try to yank it as hard as you can. So it's just being aware of when you're making plays, being aware of where your hands are, and see if you can potentially make a play. So,
all right, we'll go to Mike Vorel and then Anthony Edwards. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, Eddie, you mentioned it a bit, but what were you able to identify in terms of what the issues were in run defense in that first half, and what were the adjustments that you guys kind of had to focus on going forward?
In terms of Oregon State, the adjustments that we made against Oregon State?
That's right.
Yes, correct.
Well, they were just making creases against us because it would either that I wouldn't stay in my gap or another person would stay in their gap. And they would make creases because we're trying to make a play because you're seeing you shed, but your responsibility is this gap. So when I say discipline, it's discipline and trusting that your guys going to do your job and you're going to do your job and trusting each other. That's what I mean by that discipline. That's what I mean. Like that was the adjustment. Do your job. So.
All right. We'll go to Anthony and then Dan Raley. Go ahead, Anthony.
Yeah, Edefuan, you said you're in pre-health, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you mentioned kind of earlier this year that, you're not sleeping that much. Is there anything else that you're doing right now besides just football and school, or do you have any other hobbies?
I like reading books when I get the chance to. I'm an avid reader. Yeah.
Is there a book that stands out to you? Kind of like, is it like before the game, are you reading something, or is it just kind of more for fun?
Before the game, it's not really before game day. Before the game, I read like the Bible or something like that. But I was reading Relentless by Tim Grover this off season, so I was probably like the biggest book I read this year.
All right. We'll go to Dan Raley and then Chris Fetters. Go ahead, Dan.
Edefuan, every college program is really, really competitive, but Jimmy Lake seems to have taken this into a different direction. I mean, here you are, a walk-on and now a leader on that defense. Alex Cook moves from offense to starter, and Kamari Pleasant goes from fourth string to starter. Tell me about the mood around your football team. It's maybe opportunity abounds.
Well, he said it since day one. If you can make plays, you can be aggressive, you're going to end up playing on this team. And that's kind of like what everyone in the building felt. So it was just like equal opportunity for all of us. Anyone can get their job snatched and anyone can get their job like Kev. So it's always constant improvement, being aggressive. He wants dogs out there. So that's what we have to be.
All right. We'll wrap it up with Chris Fetters. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, Edefuan, I don't know how much you've gotten a chance to see Arizona, but do you see any similarities with Gary Brightwell from what you just saw in Jamar Jefferson?
I haven't seen much, but I know that he's a great runner. He's a strong runner, and he had a good game against USC and making people miss and breaking tackles.
All right. That'll wrap us up with Edefuan. We appreciate your time. Thank you very much. And I think we'll get Trent in here pretty quickly. So thanks again. Start the recording again. And there's Trent. All right. That works for me. Let's go Chris Fetters, then Lauren. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, Trent, I was really curious about your punt return and how much you did that at Bosco. I was trying to look back a little bit. Was that a huge part of your game back then? And what kinds of things do you feel like you really do well that lend yourself to it?
I feel like I've done punt return, honestly, all of high school, all the way back to freshman year. So I'm comfortable back there. It's definitely something that I feel like I can do really well. And I think just my decision-making and my ball carrier vision when I'm out there is something that I do very well at.
I was also curious if Dante Pettis, watching him when you were getting recruited, was that something that also kind of interested you when you were factoring in where you wanted to go to school?
I don't think it really was something big, but it was always something that in the back of my mind, I was kind of like, ooh, like 8 punt returns, going for that record type of thing that kind of just keeps me motivated and keeps me going out there.
All right. We'll go to Lauren Kirschman and then Mike Vorel. Go ahead, Lauren.
Hey, Trent. Now that we know Dylan Morris is a starting quarterback, I'm just curious, what's it been like going up against him in practice and what really stood out to you from the defensive side about him?
I think going against him in practice, every day does really well. The receivers, their connection is building every day. I think his composure out there on the field was definitely the key thing that I saw in somebody whose first game out there. He probably has some game day jitters because I know I did when I played. So seeing just his composure and able to just operate the offense was really surprising to me, and I thought he did really well.
All right, Mike Vorel, then Anthony. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I'm wondering, Trent, is there a returner whose film you watch now in terms of trying to see how to improve in that area, or someone who you watched coming up?
Back when I was little, it was always Devin Hester. You got to watch him because he's one of the most explosive returners in the game. But right now, I'm really just watching Dante Pettis and Aaron Fuller from last year. I think those guys just did a really good job in the system, and the way we do our returns out here, I feel like watching them has kind of helped me build my game up.
All right, Anthony, then Christian. Go ahead, Anthony.
What do you think about your rotation in the defensive backs against Oregon State, and how did you think Alex Cook was playing out there with you guys?
I think we all did really well, actually. I feel like our chemistry from the beginning of fall camp till now is built tremendously. I think we're very strong. We're a really good group, and I think all of us out there are just playing with a little swagger and just excited to be out there all together again.
All right, we'll go to Christian and then Maz. Go ahead, Christian.
Hey, Trent, I'm just wondering, defensively as a whole, just kind of your overall assessment of how you guys played and how close to your potential you think you guys are at this point.
I think we're just going to continue to build day and day and day. I thought that our first game out there, we had to just knock some dust off and get back to playing football again since it's been so long. But I think that we can do some great things this year as a D.
All right, Maz and then Kim Grinolds. Go ahead.
Yeah, hey Trent, staying there in terms of improving, how important is consistency and how much is that being stressed during practice from game to game?
We talk about it every single day. I think consistency is one of the most important things in football. Just being able to have guys rely on you and go out there and show it each and every day is something that can get our defense to trust each other and go out there on Saturdays and play as fast as we can.
All right, we'll go to Kim Reynolds and then Chris Fetters. Go ahead, Kim.
Hey, Trent, we got to see your speed on display, not only on the punt return, but your tackle on the sweep where you ran from the other side of the field. Film review, which play did you like better? And are you the fastest player on the team?
I thought that the play I did on defense where I ran across the field, I mean, that was just all hustle and heart, just being a football player and being accountable to my guys out there on defense. But I can't say who the fastest guy is. I don't think we've ever had a race like that, so I can't answer that one.
All right, we'll go to Chris Fetters and then Mike Vorel. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, Trent, just scouting Arizona for a second, how different do you think they are right now with Canal at quarterback compared to last year? And, do you feel like you're going to kind of still see similar things to what you guys saw last year?
Yeah, I mean, we're still early in the week of scouting and stuff, but I definitely think he does a good job at throwing the ball. And I think they're a little more throwing the ball team versus when they had last year's quarterback who was a little quicker and ran the ball more. So I think this game will be really fun for the defensive backs as a whole to go out against a quarterback who throws the ball a lot.
All right, we'll wrap things up with, if there's no further hands raised, with Mike Vorel. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, Trent, on that speed subject, I'm just curious, have you run a recent 40? Do you have any idea what ballpark you'd be in there?
I haven't actually. I have not.
4-1-2. No, just kidding. Let's go to, we do have one more hand raised from Chris Fetters. We'll go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, Trent, also was just curious. We hadn't gotten a chance to talk to you much, but in general, having to go with the different resets, like you think you're playing Michigan, then you think you're playing Stanford, then you think you're playing Cal. Overall, just how tough was it for you to personally to just have to continually reset? Because I know Coach Lake has talked about how mentally tough you guys have been and resilient and having to push through, but how tough was it for you?
I mean, I feel like 2020 is just the year of adversity. We've gone through so much in the world and all these schedule changes and stuff. I think just staying locked in, staying focused, not worrying about things that are out of our control, just worrying about things that I control as a teammate, as a person, and as a player. So I think that being able to do things that I know I can do and I can control has played a huge part in this.
All right, that'll wrap us up for today. Thank you very much for the time, Trent. We appreciate you. We'll see everybody else here tomorrow. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.